Hi, I'm Larry, K8UT. Welcome to my video about the Workdoll Europe WAE RTTY contest, and specifically about sending and receiving QTCs within that contest. I'll provide a little overview of the RTTY contest itself in the event you haven't read the rules, talk about how to prepare N1MM for this contest, and then a short demonstration of receiving QTCs followed by sending QTCs. The WAE RTTY contest is 48 hours long. Single op stations can only operate 36 of the 48 hours, so you have to choose those times when you think you'll be the most productive. The exchange in the contest is a simple RST signal report followed by a progressive serial number. The scores and multipliers are based on a country list, the WAE country list. That's where the mults come from. Anybody can work anybody, which is an exception for WAE RTTY mode compared to phone and CW. And the QTCs exchanged between two stations have to be between you and a station on a different continent. And again, that's another exception where RTTY is different than the contest in phone and CW. Finally, the maximum number of QTCs you can exchange with any station across all bands is 10. So how do you set up N1MM for the WAE RTTY contest? Well, you go through the normal drill. File, new login database, you select WAE RTTY as the contest name. In the sent exchange field, you put a £, that's for a sequential serial number. In the Associated Files tab, you'll want to select the WAE RTTY message file, .mc file. Under Tools, I always suggest before you start any contest to download and install the latest country file in the event it's changed. And then I'll show you this in the demo, but use the digital interface messages to add a few QTC-specific function keys that you may want to send to the other stations, rather than assigning those to your standard F1 through F12 N1MM function keys. Okay, so let's get started. We'll begin by adjusting N1MM Plus for the WAE RTTY contest. So we'll go through the regular drill. File. You'd set up a new log in a database. I've already set this log up, so I'm going to say Open Login Database. We want to select the WAE RTTY contest. I'm going to operate single op assisted, high power, RTTY is the mode. And the important thing down here is the sent exchange, which is a £. This will give you the sequential serial number. While you're here, click the Associated Files tab and go and assign the WAE RTTY function key file to the contest. It should happen automatically, but if it's not here, if you've never run this contest, it won't be assigned yet. You can click Change. When it brings up your function keys, I have a subdirectory for each of the three primary modes, so I'll go to RTTY, and in here is the these are in alphabetic order. These are all downloadable from the website. That's how I got them. Download them from the website under Files, pick the WAE RTTY contest, and say OK. Upon pressing that Enter key, the digital interface window opens up, as does your log. Notice that I have two custom QTC-specific buttons defined here. One of them is the No QTC button, where I can tell the opposite station I don't want to exchange QTC for whatever reason. Either I'm too busy, or I've got a run going, or their signal's not strong enough, or there's too much QRM. For whatever reason, I can't do QTCs right now. And the other one is to ask the station, would you like to exchange QTCs with me? So these are two custom message buttons I have defined in the digital interface window so as to avoid having to use my standard 12 function key buttons in N1MM Plus. Let's proceed with the Receive QTC portion of our video. We're in search and pounce mode, looking around for somebody to work, and somebody calls CQ. It's G3ABC, and we want to work him. So we double click on his call sign. Shows up down here. We're in search and pounce mode in the entry window. All we do is hit the Enter key. We'll give G3ABC a call. And he responds. with a signal report and a serial number. We click on the serial number, it's automatically filled in the entry window, and all we have to do is press the enter key again. Now normally that would be the end of the contact, and he'd send TU and be on his way and call CQ. But this is the WAE RTTY contest with QTCs, and instead he sends us a message asking if we want or have QTCs to exchange. At this point, we'll open up the Magic QTC window by pressing the keystroke Control-Z. The QTC window opens up, and we'll tell him we're ready to receive his QTCs. I am QRV. Upon receiving that message, G3ABC will begin his transmission. This is the 22nd QTC he has sent out, and he's going to send us 10 of them. So I'm going to click on the right-hand side of this QTC line, goes in the header of the QTC packet, and then as each comes in, I will click on it, and you'll notice as I click on them, it fills in each of the descending lines on the screen. Uh-oh, we got a busted call sign there. Okay, we have all 10 of them filled in. One of them's broken though. And he says QSL. In other words, did you get them all? Are we ready to go? And I need to tell him no. So I'm going to press the button here adjacent to item number 8 and ask him to send that again. Again, QTC 8. He'll respond by sending us his QTC 8th line. And when that shows up, we merely click on it, and it will fill in that line. At this point, we're done. We've got all 10 of his QTC messages, and we're going to press the Save button. As we hit this Save button, it will send him a confirming message. Yep, all okay. At that point, he'll say thank you and proceed for his next QSO. Thank you from G3ABC QRZ. So that's how a QTC receive exchange works. Notice that when we hit save, the QSO with G3ABC was saved to the log up here, but also all 10 of the QTCs, the receive, our QTCs, were also saved to the log. So finally, let's demonstrate how to send QTCs. We'll do this by being in run mode and calling CQ. We call CQ and a French station comes back to us. F2TTY. We simply click on his call sign, it shows up in the entry window, and because we're in ESM, enter sends message, I just press the enter key. We send him a signal report and a serial number. He responds with our signal report and a serial number. I click on the serial number, it automatically fills in the entry window, and at this point, if we just press enter, the QSO will be over. We'll send thank you and go look for another station to work. But instead of doing that, this is WAE, let's see if he wants to exchange QTCs. So I'll come over here to this macro that I've set up in the digital interface and ask him, do you want or have QTCs? He responds by saying he's QRV. At this point, we'll press Control-Z one time and then a second time to be in transmit mode. All of the fields are automatically populated, and we simply press this button that says Send All.
So we've sent all 10 of the QTCs. Let's imagine that he didn't get them all right, and he sends us a request for a repeat. Again, QTC 5. He wants to QTC 5 again. We'll come over here to number 5 and press Send 5. And we will resend QTC 5. At that point, he tells us he got them all. And our QSO is now over. When I press save, you'll notice what happens over here. It's already entered the QSO. As soon as we press save, it'll enter all the QTCs. We also say good luck to F2TTY, and we proceed to work the next station. That concludes my video on sending and receiving QTCs in the Workdoll Europe RTTY contest. I hope you found this helpful. 7-3 from K8UT.